Over the years, there have been a fair few instances of outside WWE talent appearing in the Royal Rumble, whether they be former stars, returning legends, representing other promotions, or in this case, all three. At 1997's event from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, lucha legend Mil Mascaras would enter the match. Mil is one of the most accomplished luchadors, certainly of his generation, maybe ever. Much like some of his peers, including Blue Demon and El Santo, Mil entered pop culture, even appearing in films bearing his name. As well as working in both Mexico and Japan, Mil Mascaras wrestled for WWE in the 70s and 80s, even thought to be the first masked wrestler to ever compete at Madison Square Garden, due to a pre-existing citywide ban against masks of any kind in public in New York, which even included wrestlers until 1972, when an exception was made. It's even believed that the reason for this change was that Vince McMahon Sr. lobbied for it because he was so keen to book Mascaras in the Garden. Mil Mascaras was 54 years old and 33 years into his wrestling career at the time of his Royal Rumble entry. At the time, this would have made him the second oldest entrant ever, behind Dory Funk Jr., who entered a year before and a few months older than Mil. But this record has since been surpassed many times since. A few, but not everyone, who has entered older than him include Ric Flair and Booker T, age 57, DDP and Jim Duggan, age 58, Jerry Lawler, who is 62, and Ivory, who is 60 years old when she entered the 2022 event. Bet there's a name you weren't expecting. The oldest, if you're wondering, to date is Jimmy Snuka, who was 64 in his 2008 appearance. May that record never be broken, unless Fit Finlay wants to give it a go this year. I'd be okay with that. He could probably still swing his shillelagh around well enough. Mil would enter the Rumble at number 11 and would stay in for nearly 7.5 minutes, being one of 4 wrestlers representing AAA in the match. As he entered, Pierroth was in the ring, and later Cibernetico and Latin Lover would also enter, all thanks to the location of the event. But Mil's run was the most eventful, as I'll get to in a minute. With San Antonio not being far from Mexico, and having a fair Hispanic population, clearly WWE felt that some lucha influence might help liven the 60,000 in attendance, which, by the way, still in 2024, is the largest Royal Rumble attendance ever. All there to see their man, Shawn Michaels, regain the WWE title from Psycho Sid. As Mil entered the ring, he would be faced with an interesting field: the British Bulldog, Pierroth, the eventual winner of the match, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the Sultan, who would go on to be known as Rikishi. Right after Mil would be Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and it's really weird seeing Mascaras tangle with the leader of the wrestling world in 2024. Since I have no idea when I'll get to talk about Mil Mascaras again, the main thing people seem to know him for these days is his reputation for being difficult to work with, being unwilling to put anyone else over, or even sell moves for other wrestlers. Bruce Pritchard even made a meme of this, coining the term "no yob." This can even be seen in this Royal Rumble, when the Sultan slams him to the mat, and after a few seconds, Mil just gets right back up as if nothing happened. To fans, Mil has been highly regarded for decades, but his fellow wrestlers not so much, largely for his reputation for being unwilling to sell. As best I can tell, Mascaras' last US appearance for a major promotion before the 97 Rumble would have been at WCW's Clash at the Champions 10 in February 1990. This would become an infamous match against Cactus Jack, where Foley would shock people with a scary looking bump to the outside, sometimes called the Nestea Plunge, in a reference to the 1970s ad campaign. Mil's elimination comes with a fair bit of controversy. As he throws Pierroth out of the ring, he goes through the middle ropes and climbs to the top turnbuckle. He then dives onto Pierroth on the outside and re-enters the ring, only for referees to declare that he eliminated himself. I'm not so sure about that, given that he never actually went over the top rope. The speculation around this, and to be clear I've never seen it confirmed, is that Mil did this on purpose, knowing he wasn't winning, to make sure nobody could throw him out. As Dave Meltzer would write in his report in The Observer, Mil had been in more than enough battle royals to have a firm enough grasp of the rules. I'm putting that a bit more politely than he did. Despite his mixed reputation, there's no denying Mil's legend. To fans of a certain age, he might still be one of the most recognisable and enduring luchadors ever. He's even been credited as being light as a feather to work with, meaning he rarely if ever hurt anyone. Today, as of this video being made, Mil last wrestled 2 matches in 2019, at the age of 77, in one of which teaming with current WWE star Dragon Lee. Inducted by his nephew Alberto Del Rio, Mil would enter the WWE Hall of Fame in 2012. And if you're wondering, yes, his self-elimination is included in his highlight reel. Thank you for watching yet another wrestling channel. If you like this, please consider leaving a comment, clicking like or subscribing.